You're listening to Local Play Only.
What original PlayStation 1 is modded. So I'm not even going to get into collecting.
It would just be to have them on the shelf sake, but you don't need it.
Yeah. So I'm not even going to get into collecting for them because it's just so easy to burn discs. And then for the Wii, I already have a Wii, but the 4 games that they had with it were like sports games and a couple of children's games. So I was like, hey, maybe I'll leave this for somebody else. You know,
Yeah,
I don't
somebody who
treasure.
really needs those games, you know?
Yeah, I don't really want to pick this up. Or maybe there's going to be like some other like 16-year-old kid who's going to be like waking up a half an hour later than me, who's going to come by and be like, oh my god, it's a Wii for
My
Did you say
favorite
another
console.
16-year-old?
My favorite console with my favorite games.
exactly.
I can't wait to play Adventure Island. That was a GameCube game, never mind.
And then we went, while I was in Kingston, we went to, initially we had gone to Value Village. And when I went to Value Village, they didn't really have any consoles, so to speak. From what I could see, it looks like they had a PlayStation 2.
That's a console.
Yeah. But it was buried kind of at the back. They didn't have like a specific section for it. And they didn't have any cords associated with it. The PlayStation 2 though was going for $8.
You should have grabbed
Yeah.
a sticker from a different thing.
So I worked at the Value Village here in town from when they opened for the first whole year. And like we worked 3 weeks before the place even opened. But towards like the last, like right before we were getting ready to opening day, there was one of the green like see-through N64s
Jungle Green?
with 4 of the like jungle green controllers and like just Super Mario 64, a single game, and it was all right there. It was $40.
Yep.
I wanted it so bad because like all 4 controllers, the perfect color, they were all good condition. But when you work there, you're not allowed to buy something till it's been on the floor for 4 weeks.
Oh no.
So and it was the first day. You know who bought it? Can you guess?
Meg.
Andrew? Nope.
Why
It's
didn't you?
it's someone who recently they opened up a store in town and probably sold it for.
Oh, was it Philly or
It
whatever?
was Rob.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was Rob Duder bought it. I saw him when
Ah.
I was working the cash register. He came up and I was like, "Fuck you! I wanted that."
You should have told me about it.
I don't remember. That was before I even talked to you.
Yeah, that's true.
That was so like I'm just gonna be like, hey, I should call that Andrew guy from high school Spanish and see if he wants this game.
He's not wrong.
But yeah, so I mean, like it was just crazy though, because like they had no idea what it was worth. Like $40, yeah, like right now, like you'd pay $40 for an N64 right now.
100%.
But like a full great condition of like the Jungle Green with 4 controllers, all with
The
the
4
Joy-Cons
controllers
and
are worth $40.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
that was a good deal. A year later at Value Village, they'd probably be selling that for like $150.
Well,
Valley Village is a joke.
I had there was a couple of other things I saw. So, they had a gaming section with the PlayStation 2 games, some 360, some PlayStation 3. They had Kingdom Hearts 1 for $5. They had Final Fantasy X for $5. San Andreas for $7, I think, which isn't terrible if you do want to start collecting them. But at that time, as I said, my PlayStation 2 is moddable, so.
I was going to say, I have some PS2 games, like doubles, if you want some.
Ooh.
Or if you
Ooh.
really want to play one, you can just borrow them.
I have 3 copies of the Kingdom Hearts 1.
I have 4.
And then when we went to Belleville to visit another one of my friends, I went in there and I found an original Xbox for $20 with the cords. I plugged it in and she worked. I just need to grab an AV cable for it.
Yeah,
and
which
then
is
it'll be
pretty
good.
simple.
But I already have a couple of games from when I got my 360. There was a bunch of original Xbox games that were fairly cheap at the time at EB, and I picked up a couple. But $20 wasn't terrible, and I might eventually end up collecting for that. And it's super easily moddable.
I was going to say, that system's quite easy to mod as well.
But then we went to a garage sale on the Saturday, and woke up. My parents ended up coming with us, and we kind of drove around, and the one of the first sales that I saw was someone was actually advertising that they were selling video games, and we went there. They had kind of some plastic containers,
Like tubs.
Like, yeah.
Or
yeah,
like
plastic
Tupperware.
tubs
Yeah.
of. One had controllers in it for the Wii, PlayStation 2, 360. Controllers were going for about $3 each. There was a bunch of 360 games, bunch of Wii games, bunch of PlayStation 3 games. unfortunately no N64 games, but the sale started at 8. We got there around 8:05. There was already probably 6 or 7 people there, and immediately when we got there, I saw like on the table there was a bunch of different consoles, and there was an N64, 2 different N64s. I saw one of the guys go and grab one of them, and then I kind of just like
Beelined it.
I just kind of walked a little fast before anyone else could see it, and just immediately went and grabbed it, and then started looking around. And $10, didn't have the jumper pack, didn't have any cables, and he had not working on, or like not tested. So I was like, I'm just taking the risk. It's $10, you know.
You spent $10 on worse things.
Yeah, like what's the worst that can happen here?
It bursts into flames and kills you.
I guess that's true.
Hey, worse for who?
So I'm walking around and I find a green controller. I had $5 on it and a PlayStation 2 memory card, which I did need because kind of through the scuffle, my dad lost it.
I have 10 memory cards.
Jesus Christ!
If you need one.
So he had, I think, $2 on the memory card, and the joystick on the green controller was a little bit jank, and I was just like, hey man, do you mind if I just grab like the controller, the memory card, and this console, because you haven't tested it out, so I could just be buying something that's useless. Mind if I just grab this for $10? And he's like, yeah, that's cool.
You bamboozled
You
them.
got naggled.
So I went home. I know really like nothing about the N64, honestly. I went home.
There's a button that is power,
Yeah.
and there's a reset button.
Yep.
I went home, tried my PlayStation 2 AV cable on it, didn't work, and I was like, okay, I'm an idiot. Then I research it, and I'm like, oh, need to grab another AV cable specific for Nintendo.
Should have bought
product.
just a universal one.
So I go to, it's called Chumley's. It's like a pawn shop in Kingston, and I pick one up for $7 or $8.
It's a $17 console here, bud.
So I go
Starting to
home.
rack up, you know. And then he picked up the jumper pack for $300, and it was all good.
I go home, try to turn it on, doesn't work, and I'm like, okay, I'm like, god damn it, I'm so stupid. Like, I just bought this thing for $10. It's obviously not going to work. It's $10. Then I start researching it more, and I'm like, oh, I need the jumper pack for the front. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll just call around to some pawn shops. I was like, it's not going to be too much. Like, every N64 came with one. So I call,
It didn't
and
come with them.
the jumper pack?
No.
No.
You had to buy it separate. It's like the from what
It's
I
RAM. It's extra RAM.
no, but there's the jumper pack. Then there's the expansion pack.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, sorry. You meant just the plain one. Yes, those did come with those, yes.
Yeah,
Which were the
because
ones that went into the controller?
no,
Those are Rumble packs.
What the fuck were they for?
Rumble, you idiot.
That's
Yeah.
it?
Yes!
yeah.
Man.
So I call
You
around.
had to fucking put batteries in those things.
I had no idea.
So I learned that you need the jumper pack in order for it to work because it is the RAM. So I call around to different pawn shops. I'm like, hey, do you guys have one? The first 2 didn't have it. Called the third one. They're like, yeah, we got one. $40. I was like, god damn it.
That's like twice as much as they paid for the whole system.
I was like, man, I got a controller here. I got the system. I got the cables. $40. I don't know. And I was just like, okay, well, you know, this is going to be something for another day. When I come back, maybe I'll save up the money and I'll just buy it. Or maybe I'll come across one, just go into the garage sales. And, you know, at the end of my trip, I come home and I'm just kind of browsing Facebook Marketplace and I see someone in Owen Sound is selling a jumper pack for $10. And I'm like, yo, do you still have this? Well, he's selling it for 12 and I'm like, will you take 10 for it? He's like, yeah.
Gotta lowball them.
So-
I'll give you $5 and 2 socks.
I did. He had it
2
up.
socks.
He had it up for, I believe, about a week. So I don't think that anyone was really saw the value in it. So I was like, I'll give you $10, and he's like, okay. And I met up with him in 2 days and bought it. And I go home and I'm just like, okay. So now in total, I've spent $28. Please, for the love of God, just work. Like, I felt incrementally, like when I first bought the N64, I was like, okay, this is going to be a waste of money. When I got home and the AV cable didn't work, get the AV cable, it still doesn't work. I'm like, now I've spent $18. So now another $10, spending $28. I'm like, okay, if this doesn't work after the 28th, I'm gonna feel like a complete fucking idiot, you know?
Yeah, the more money you spend all of a sudden, and if it doesn't work in the end, the more of a waste it is.
Exactly. So then I put Ocarina of Time in, and I hear the music, and it finally works. And it's really...
It was all worth it.
It's fucked up, but I felt so much satisfaction with it. Like,
I just feel relieved. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't waste a bunch of money.
Exactly. I was like, yo, this is sweet. And I'm just happy because it's something that I've kind of like always wanted in a way. And I've wanted for a long time. And the way that I kind of went about getting it feels a lot better.
I have to interrupt you for an important question here. What's one of the systems you still need?
A GameCube.
Okay, so I am taking a video of this, and I just realized too that you are currently balancing your mic on a GameCube. Well, like we just literally use it as like a stand in this room.
No.
Hey, they're durable as shit, man.
I know, but that's what I was just thinking. I was like, Phil still needs a GameCube, and I'm just like looking in the video. I'm like, oh, there's one.
And eventually, I will pick one up.
Honestly, do you need a GameCube?
I'll eventually buy one.
Because I was going to say, you're best just to get the Wii. Like the original
I have
Wii.
a Wii.
Then...
But he needs the GameCube for collector's sake.
Yeah,
This is part of the whole day,
games
Andrew.
are fucking expensive for the GameCube.
I know.
It's like Melee. Fucking
Path of Radiance, which is my favorite GameCube game, and in some like probably my top 10 favorite games, is like $160.
But this...
I want what's it fucking called?
Skies of Arcadia.
Skies of Arcadia. It was $210 for just that one game.
So this goes back into what I was saying, like Facebook Marketplace.
It's full of dumb people.
A lot of dumb people, but yesterday I saw someone in an area that's like a half an hour away from us was selling a GameCube controller with Super Mario Sunshine, Melee, and Luigi's Mansion, $130, and I'm like, man, if I had the money to
You
buy
call
this,
your ass over there right now.
I would definitely buy it.
So right now you're doing like a very slow collection. It's not like you want to go out right now. You just got your fucking grandma just died. You just got tons of bank. You're going out hitting hard on the collection. It's like you have like a small list of things you really want that you're taking a look for every now and then. You're checking out yard sales when you go, but you're not going online looking at every game you've ever wanted, purchasing them, getting them sent to you. It's like a slow thing to start. Right?
Yeah. So this also goes into our pricing, like, as far as the value of games. So Ocarina of Time, it was just kind of a right place, right time, so to speak, where I just kind of saw it there. I needed a game to test. It was one game that I've always wanted to play. Might as well pick it up. But for things like Banjo-Kazooie and Super Mario 64, I'm hoping to come across them at a garage sale. And just kind of dealing with someone who might not know what they have and just being like, yo, I'll give you like $15-20 for it. Now, the market for that is kind of changing because a lot of people will look at
They'll look
eBay
online, yeah,
and things like that. But
and they'll see the fucking highest mark prices and be like, oh, I can sell it for this.
Which I think is kind of dangerous because, just because someone has it as the list price doesn't mean that's what people are going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Now, Phil, did you buy the jumper pack or the expansion pack?
The jumper pack.
Okay, you will probably need to buy an expansion pack.
Eventually, yes.
Like Donkey Kong 64 requires it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need it for that.
And I think Majora's Mask does as well.
I believe so, yeah.
But again,
Yeah, Majora's Mask.
I'm hoping like it's not something like, and I've talked to my fiance about this. Like, I'm not looking at like collecting these games and just dropping hundreds upon hundreds of dollars on them.
Why not?
Because he's got other things in life to spend money on.
Got a wedding coming up,
His 10th vacation.
It's true.
I can't just be spending our money on stupid shit, So, and I think it's also kind of it's exciting. Like, I don't know, I've always been a collector at heart. Like, I collect vinyl, and I love going into new record stores, especially in different areas, and going through like their hip hop section and seeing records that aren't in, the Sunrises here and things like that. And I think what is exciting to me about the garage sales is the fact that I can go to one garage sale that might have nothing, but I could go to another one that could have this insane bundle.
Got gold, bud.
Exactly.
Gold.
Everything.
It's kind of like, I just find it exciting.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
That's fair. As I said, the only reason I would actually collect is just for the appearance, just for the look of it. I would collect basically because I'd like to have like my game room. Obviously, I have some like very small.
Kind of like your manga on the wall. That looks, that looks nice.
I got the manga inside the bookshelves. You know, I got all the pictures up, all that kind of stuff. It would be really nice to have like a couple big shelves just with every single game like organized alphabetical order. You know, different systems. It would be very, very nice looking, very aesthetic. You know.
Well, I've been kind of composing a list of all the different games that I want to collect for each system, and once I kind of reach those, you know, I'm not going to continue to collect.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be a thing where I know for certain things, like I've seen Nintendo DS's, for example, for like $20 at garage sales, and I'm like, yo, I don't think that I'll ever use this. This isn't something that I'm interested in. If I saw a
Plus,
game,
just get a 3DS, because then it plays both.
but if I saw like if I saw a GameCube or a GameCube or a Game Boy Color, I'd be like, yo, I'll grab this, just because I have an attachment to it in a way.
Yeah, because it's the thing about collecting is like I would probably not want to collect a system that I've never really owned because I'm like, I didn't care for the games on there or anything like that. But like the nostalgia of a system I owned at one point, used to have tons of fun with playing as a kid. That's something I'd be like, ooh, I want to relive that for a little bit. But like I never owned the original Xbox. I wouldn't, even if someone's like, hey, you want this Xbox for $20? I'd be like, fuck no. Like I only played one game or two games. I played Morrowind and Kingdom Under Fire. Which like I can play Morrowind on PC. You know, as much
and the
as
second Kingdom Under Fire is way better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like I didn't have enough of an attachment to the Xbox. I wouldn't pay any price for it. Like if someone's like, "Hey, you want this for free?" I might still not even say yes.
No, I feel that
it takes up space. But if someone's like, "Hey, man, do you want this like Game Boy Color or something like that?" I'd be like, "Man, I remember used to play like the Pokemon games on there with my friend at sleepover, stuff like that." I'd be like, "Yeah, I want that."
Yeah, I feel that, but for me, it's kind of weird because I, in a way, want to go through like the generations. Like I kind of want to, even with N64, unless I find games at a garage sale.
Garage?
Garage.
A garage sale?
A garage.
Garage sale.
With your rubbish in your garage sale?
I think I'm going to play the games to completion. Not like 100% completion because that's going to take me too much time. But I'm going to like beat Ocarina of Time before I go and try to look for a copy of Banjo. And then kind of go from there. And then eventually when I get like a GameCube, you know, I'm going to wait to play Super Mario Sunshine until I've beaten the games on N64 that I wanted to play.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So we touched on it a little bit. I think we should go over a little bit more, which is emulation. All right.
Yeah.
So it's almost what you could argue is the collection downfall. You know, like what stopped collectors to begin with, is now there's the logic, especially now with cell phones being where they are, you can play anything. Like I have the Dolphin, GameCube, and Wii emulator on my cell phone now.
Yeah.
Which runs flawlessly on my phone.
Does it actually run like really well on?
Oh yeah, I have more RAM on my phone than a lot of people have on their laptops. With like the price of high quality phones these days, it's crazy.
I think I'm buying that Razr phone.
Yeah,
it's a good. So,
but I like no joke though. I
Yeah.
downloaded Path of Radiance the other day on my phone.
I saw you playing
Cutscene, everything flawless. The only thing I'd like is better controls. Obviously, maybe like a Bluetooth controller or something.
I might have a second one.
Which that's super cool, like being able to do that. But the same thing, I'll turn it on for an hour, but I'll never be able to sit down the same way I would if I just plugged in my N64 or my GameCube and just sat down and played it.
Well, even with that, like the 8-bit though.
Yeah.
Those controllers, I got a Super Nintendo one from a local retailer, and on my tablet at my previous job, I had downloaded Super Mario World, and when we were dead, I used the Bluetooth controller, the Bluetooth Super Nintendo controller, and played through pretty much the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, it's so cool, especially now that even like tablets now, that the quality of tablets that are coming are crazy. That's a big screen. I almost like back when I used to play stuff like N64, my TV was about the same size as my tablet.
And you can bring the tablet anywhere.
Yeah, you can bring it anywhere, do anything. And it's just like it's super cool and it's very efficient.
I remember my first laptop. I tried to emulate PS2 games on it, and I was trying to play Final Fantasy, and all of the vocals were.
And they ran like shit.
It was
like
awful.
Other than I used to play Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance SP games and stuff like that. They all worked fine. But I tried to do PS2, PS1 back in the day. They ran like crap on my laptop.
It's also, I think, for me, going back to the Raspberry Pi Super Nintendo Classic debate kind of thing, is I don't know. It sounds weird to me, but I'm also kind of at the point in my life where I'd much rather just like plug something in and have it work immediately.
Yeah.
Whereas with the Raspberry Pi or emulation, at least from what I remember with doing PlayStation 2, for example, you had to download different things to kind of get it to work, or different BIOS, things like that. And it would just kind of be a lot of legwork to make sure something works. And even when I used to emulate things, it would also, I don't know, there would kind of be something fun in seeing if I can get this to work, more so than actually playing the game.
Stay tuned for our next episode, Local Play Only.